Looks like Todd Blanche is going to get to be a real attorney general after all. You see, Todd Blanche's nomination has been held up for months because he's been refusing to put in writing that the president's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization slush fund and his IRS immunity deal are actually dead or are being narrowed. A pair of senators have been holding up his nomination, preventing this Pinocchio from becoming a real boy. Until that happened, well, Blanche did it tonight at midnight. All right, this is the first of 2 pages that Blanche released tonight. I'll talk about the other things in just a second here, but this is the most important one. It says that everything that he said in his hearings in May and in June and with other senators is exactly what the DOJ is doing, that the anti-weaponization fund, the slush fund, is dead, and the DOJ is not going forward with it. That was the order on May 18th, and then the order on May 19th, which is the IRS immunity deal, I'll talk about in just a second. The second page is a little more boring legalese stuff. It's a little more formal. This one basically says that no money was ever doled out in the $1.8 billion slush fund, and that any lawsuits that have been brought against it to block it are now moot and should be dismissed because no money ever went out, and that thing was never actually put into place because they killed it back in May. Okay, back to the first page, because the thing we care about here is the IRS immunity deal, which is the May 19th order that they call a mutual release of claims. They don't call it an immunity deal with the IRS. That has been narrowed to only apply retroactively from May 19th, instead of it being read as giving the president immunity from tax crimes forever. Now it's just any past tax crimes that he's immune from prosecution from the IRS and potentially the DOJ from. Estimates right now is that nets the president somewhere around $140 million he doesn't have to pay back. There's also a reference to this thing right above my head here where there are more pages to this stuff. It's his testimony and other things that Senator Cornyn, was one of the senators blocking this nomination, has asked for. We're likely to see some of those things in the coming days as well. None of this also says that the Department of Justice can't go back and try to do this thing again, and the president has also vowed to press Congress and the Senate to make the $1.8 billion slush fund a bill, even though some senators have said that's got a snowball's chance in hell of happening. The big takeaway, though, is that what this means is the president's loyal supporters, his most loyal, that thought they were going to get some kind of payout for being that loyal to the president, aren't. But the president himself, he still gets to make out good. And this exact kind of thing is why he wants Todd Blanche, his former criminal attorney, to be his attorney general. So what happens next for Todd Blanche? Well, the Senate Judiciary Committee meets again on Tuesday, where they will likely vote to pass him through committee. The full Senate will then take another vote sometime next week. We don't know when it's planned for just yet. Likely the end of the week, but it could be as soon as the following Tuesday. But the Senate leaves town Friday, maybe Saturday, but they're going to get out of there by Friday.